The knock came at 12:17 a.m., sharp and insistent, shattering the silence of the Portland Airbnb. My heart lurched as I bolted upright on the creaky sofa bed, the city's summer heat clinging to my skin like a second shadow. I'd been scrolling through my phone, chasing ghosts in old messages, when the sound yanked me back to the present. I wasn't supposed to be here, not in this quaint, ivy-covered bungalow in southeast Portland, not alone, and certainly not awake at this hour, waiting for a stranger to explain why they were rapping on my door like the world was ending. My name is Elias Navarro, 28, a graphic designer from Chicago who'd fled to the West Coast to escape a breakup that had gutted me. I'd booked this place on a whim, drawn to its promise of cozy charm and a chance to disappear. But now, with the knock echoing in my ears, I wondered if I'd made a terrible mistake. The door creaked open before I could reach it, and there he was, Jasper Klein, the host, all lean muscle and sharp cheekbones, his early 30s face lit by the porch light's amber glow. Elias, right? His voice was low, almost a whisper, but it carried an edge of urgency. I need your help. Now. I froze, my hand still on the doorknob. Jasper's profile on the app had been sparse. A single photo of him in a flannel shirt, standing by a vintage motorcycle, with a bio that read, "Artist, wanderer, keeper of secrets." I thought it was quirky, maybe pretentious. Now his green eyes locked onto mine, and I saw something else. Fear, raw and unfiltered. "What's going on?" I asked, my voice shakier than I wanted. He stepped closer, his breath uneven. "There's someone in the backyard. I heard them. I think they're trying to break in." My stomach dropped. I come to Portland to heal, not to star in a true crime podcast. But Jasper's gaze held me, desperate and pleading, and I couldn't look away. "Why me?" I managed. "Why not call the cops?" His jaw tightened. "It's complicated. Please, Elias. I can't do this alone." Against every instinct screaming at me to stay put, I grabbed my jacket and followed him into the night. The backyard was a tangle of roses and fairy lights, the air thick with the scent of damp earth. Jasper moved like a man who knew every inch of this place, his steps silent on the grass. I trailed behind, my pulse hammering, wondering who or what we were about to face. We found no intruder, only shadows and silence. But as we stood there, Jasper's hand brushed mine, and the world tilted. His touch was electric, unintentional, and yet it lingered. He didn't pull away. Neither did I. "Sorry," he muttered, but his eyes said something else. I thought I heard something. I swallowed hard, my voice barely a whisper. "It's okay. I'm here." That night I didn't sleep, not because of the supposed prowler, but because of Jasper Klein, artist, wanderer, keeper of secrets, who just cracked open a door to something I wasn't ready to name. The next morning, sunlight poured through the bungalow's bay windows, painting the hardwood floors in gold. I sat at the kitchen island, nursing a coffee Jasper had left brewing before he vanished to run errands. The house felt different in daylight, less like a crime scene, more like a home. Exposed brick walls, shelves stuffed with art books, and a turntable spinning a soft jazz record gave the place a warmth I hadn't noticed last night. But my mind kept replaying that moment in the backyard. Jasper's hand, the way his eyes softened when he looked at me. I'd come to Portland to forget Caleb, my ex, whose betrayal had left me hollow. Yet here I was, my heart stuttering over a man I'd known for less than a day. The front door swung open, and Jasper walked in, a canvas bag slung over his shoulder. He wore a faded denim jacket, his dark hair slightly mussed, and I hated how my chest tightened at the sight of him. "Morning," he said, setting the bag on the counter. "I got breakfast. Figured I owed you after last night." "You don't owe me anything," I said, too quickly. "What was that, anyway? You never explained." He hesitated, unpacking croissants and a jar of local honey. "It's a long story. This house, it's got history. Sometimes I hear things I can't explain." I raised an eyebrow. "Ghosts?" He laughed, a low, rumbling sound that made my skin hum. "Not exactly, just echoes. Look, I'm sorry I dragged you into it." I panicked. I wanted to press him, but something in his expression, guarded, almost fragile, stopped me. Instead, I took a croissant and changed the subject. "So, you're an artist?" "Yeah, mostly murals, some sculpture. I've got a studio out back." He paused, then added, "You want to see it?" I should have said no. I should have packed my bags and left, kept my heart locked tight. But I nodded, and soon we were crossing the backyard again, this time in daylight. His studio was a converted shed, bursting with color. Canvases splashed with bold reds and blues, sculptures of twisted metal that seemed to pulse with life. One piece caught my eye. Two figures, carved from driftwood, their hands almost touching. "It's about longing," Jasper said, standing too close. "Wanting something you're afraid to reach for." I turned to him, my throat tight. "What are you afraid of?" For a moment he didn't answer. Then, softly, "Letting someone in." The air between us crackled. I wanted to ask more, to unravel the mystery of this man who'd knocked on my door and turned my world upside down. But before I could, his phone buzzed, shattering the moment. He glanced at it, his face darkening. "I have to go," he said abruptly. "Stay as long as you want." He was gone before I could protest, leaving me alone with his art and the weight of unspoken words. That night, I couldn't shake the feeling that Jasper was hiding something. The house creaked and groaned, each sound making me jump. I tried to distract myself with work, sketching logos on my tablet, but my mind kept drifting to him, to the way his voice softened when he said my name, to the secrets he carried like a second skin. Around 10 p.m., I heard footsteps outside. Not the frantic knocks of last night, but a steady, deliberate pace. I peered through the window and saw Jasper in the backyard, pacing under the string lights. He looked haunted, his hands shoved deep in his pockets. I stepped outside, the cool night air raising goosebumps on my arms. "Jasper, you okay?" He stopped, startled, then ran a hand through his hair. "I didn't mean to wake you." "You didn't. What's wrong?" He sighed, his breath visible in the chilly air. "This house, it belonged to my brother, Lucas. He died 2 years ago. Sometimes I think he's still here, watching me." My heart ached at the pain in his voice. "I'm so sorry," I said, stepping closer. "What happened?" Jasper looked away, his jaw tight. "He was like me, queer but not out, not to our family. They didn't take it well when they found out. Lucas took it harder than I did. He overdosed, right here in this house." The words hit me like a punch. I thought of Caleb, of the nights I'd spent hiding who I was to keep him happy. "Jasper, I don't..." He cut me off, his voice raw. "I don't want pity. I don't know how to let go." I reached for his hand, tentative at first, then firm. "You don't have to do it alone." He looked at me then, really looked, and something shifted. His fingers tightened around mine, and for a moment, the world was just us. 2 broken souls under a sky full of stars. The next day, Jasper invited me to explore Portland with him. We wandered through Powell's books, our shoulders brushing as we flipped through novels. We ate food cart tacos by the Willamette River, laughing when sauce dripped down my chin. And when he took me to his favorite mural, a vibrant explosion of color on a warehouse wall, I saw him come alive, his hands gesturing wildly as he talked about art and freedom. But the shadow of his past lingered. Over coffee, he told me more about Lucas, about their childhood in rural Idaho, about the father who'd called them abominations. I shared my own scars, how Caleb had cheated, how I'd spent years trying to be someone I wasn't. With every word, the walls between us crumbled. That night, back at the Airbnb, we sat on the backyard swing, the air heavy with possibility. "Elias," Jasper said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know what this is, but I feel it. I feel you." My heart pounded. "I feel it too." He leaned in, and when our lips met, it was like coming home. The kiss was slow, tentative, then hungry, a collision of need and hope. I tasted salt on his lips, and I didn't know if it was his tears or mine. But the moment was shattered by a crash from inside the house. We pulled apart, breathless, and Jasper's eyes widened. "Stay here," he said, bolting inside. I followed because of course I did. In the living room, a framed photo of Lucas lay shattered on the floor. Jasper stared at it, his face pale. "He's here," he whispered. "He's trying to tell me something." The final day of my stay, I woke to find Jasper gone. A note on the counter read, "Meet me at the studio. I need to show you something." My stomach churned with unease, but I went. In the studio, Jasper stood before a new sculpture. Two figures, their hands now touching, carved with a tenderness that stole my breath. "It's us," he said, his voice thick. "You made me want to finish it." Tears stung my eyes. "Jasper, I'm leaving tomorrow." "I know." He stepped closer, his hands cupping my face. "But you showed me I can still feel, that I can still love." We kissed again, and this time there were no interruptions. Just us and the promise of something new. I didn't know if I'd stay in Portland or if Jasper would follow me to Chicago. But I knew one thing. We'd found each other in the dark, and that was enough. As I packed my bags that night, the house was quiet. No knocks, no crashes, just peace. And on the bedside table, I found a sketch Jasper had left me. Two hands intertwined, with a single word scrawled beneath, "Hope."